What if I told you that the first words you say to yourself every morning could set the tone for your entire day? Sounds simple, right? But here's the twist. Most people get it wrong. Are you starting your day with power, or are you unknowingly setting yourself up for failure? Every morning is a fresh start. It's a blank canvas, but how you paint it depends on what you tell yourself when you wake up. Your mindset shapes your actions, and your actions shape your results. In this video, we're breaking down 8 things you should tell yourself every morning to create clarity, focus, and unstoppable momentum. Stick around because these principles could change your life. Here's the challenge. We live in a world full of distractions, negativity, and uncertainty. From the moment you wake up, your mind is bombarded with thoughts about what's wrong, what's missing, or what's overwhelming. And if you don't control that narrative, it will control you. The question is, how do you shift from being reactive to being proactive? How do you take charge of your day before it takes charge of you? Let's dive into the 8 things you need to tell yourself every morning to take control of your mindset and set the tone for success. Today is a gift. Imagine waking up and realizing the world has reset. No obligations, no burdens from yesterday, and no anxieties about tomorrow. Just the pristine, untapped potential of today. That's the mindset I want you to embrace. See, most people spend their days either lamenting the past or worrying about the future. They carry yesterday's mistakes like heavy baggage, dragging them into today's opportunities. Or they're so busy forecasting tomorrow's storms that they overlook the sunshine right here and now. But here's the truth. Today is a gift. It's wrapped in possibilities and tied with the ribbon of opportunity. Yet most of us don't even bother to unwrap it. Why? Because we take it for granted. Let me tell you a secret. The clock doesn't stop for anyone. Every moment you spend regretting the past or dreading the future is a moment you've wasted, a moment you'll never get back. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore your past or avoid planning for the future. Those things matter, of course, but they shouldn't dictate your life to the point where you forget to live today. Yesterday is a lesson, not a sentence. Tomorrow is a vision, not a guarantee. Today, though, today is your canvas. You decide what masterpiece to paint on it. So how do you make the most of today? Start with gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, don't just dive straight into the chaos. Pause. Take a moment to acknowledge the simple fact that you're alive. The air in your lungs, the beat of your heart. These are gifts. Some people didn't get to see today, but you did. Doesn't that deserve at least a moment of appreciation? Next, set an intention. Don't let the day happen to you. Decide what you want to achieve, how you want to feel, and what kind of energy you want to bring to the table. It doesn't have to be grand. Maybe your intention is to finish a task you've been avoiding. Maybe it's to spend quality time with a loved one or simply to smile more. Whatever it is, let it guide you through the day. But here's the catch. You have to stay present. And that's not easy. Your mind will try to pull you into the past, reminding you of all the things you've done wrong, or it will catapult you into the future, filling your head with worries about what might go wrong. That's when you have to gently pull it back. Remind yourself, the only moment you have is this one. Take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and focus on what's in front of you. And when the day gets tough, because let's be honest, it will, remember that every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Maybe you'll face a difficult conversation, a frustrating delay, or a setback in your plans. Instead of reacting with anger or despair, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Challenges are like the weights in the gym of life. They're there to strengthen you, not to break you. Finally, end your day with reflection. Before you go to bed, take a few minutes to review your day. What went well? What could you have done differently? Celebrate your wins no matter how small, and forgive yourself for any missteps. Remember, tomorrow is another chance. But don't dwell on it too much. Rest, recharge, and remind yourself that today, This day was a gift you chose to honor. I am in control of my choices. Let's talk about control. Most people think control means dominating circumstances, bending life to their will. But real control starts with one simple truth. You are in charge of your choices. That's it. You can't control the weather, other people's opinions, or the curveballs life throws your way. But you can control how you respond. Think about that for a moment. How often do you blame your circumstances for your situation? If only I had a better job. If only I had more time. If only they understood me. The if only mindset is a trap. It's a way of surrendering your power to things outside your control. But here's the reality. You don't need perfect circumstances to make progress. You just need to make better choices. Choices are your superpower. They're the steering wheel of your life. Every choice you make, big or small, shapes your path. The choice to wake up early or hit snooze. The choice to eat something healthy or grab junk food. The choice to focus on your goals or scroll mindlessly through social media. Each decision might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound. And that's where the magic happens. Now, you might be thinking, but what about the things I can't control? What if life is really unfair? And you're right, life isn't always fair. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. Sometimes you'll face challenges that feel overwhelming, but even then, you have a choice. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a victor. You can choose to dwell on what you've lost, or you can choose to focus on what you still have. Making good choices isn't always easy. Sometimes the right choice is the harder one. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone than to step out and take a risk. It's easier to blame others than to take responsibility. It's easier to react emotionally than to respond thoughtfully. But easy doesn't lead to growth. Easy doesn't build character. Easy doesn't get you closer to the life you want. So how do you start making better choices? Begin with awareness. Pay attention to the decisions you're making throughout the day. Are they moving you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? Be honest with yourself. And remember, every day is a new chance to choose differently. If you made a poor choice yesterday, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Learn from it and make a better choice today. Next, align your choices with your values. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? Let those questions guide your decisions. When you're faced with a tough choice, ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Will this make me proud of the person I'm becoming? Take ownership. Own your choices and their outcomes. When things go well, celebrate your role in that success. When things go wrong, resist the urge to blame others. Instead, ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What can I learn from this? Taking responsibility isn't about beating yourself up. It's about empowering yourself to do better next time. Remember, you're not a passenger in your own life, you're the driver. And while the road may be unpredictable, the direction you choose to steer is entirely up to you. So the next time you're faced with a choice, no matter how small, remind yourself, I am in control. I have the power to choose. And with each choice, I'm shaping the life I want to live. I will focus on what I can control. In life, there is a fundamental truth that we often overlook. We cannot control everything. We can't dictate the weather, control the behavior of others, or determine how the world will respond to us. Yet so many of us spend countless hours worrying about these things, exhausting our energy on matters far beyond our reach. But here's a liberating realization. You don't need to control everything to lead a fulfilling, productive life. You only need to master what lies within your power, your attitude, your actions, and your effort. Imagine a ship on the open sea. The captain cannot control the winds or the waves, but they can control the sails and steer the rudder. By focusing on what they can control, they navigate through the storm and eventually reach the shore. Life works the same way. If you dwell on things outside your control, you're like a captain who abandons the wheel, leaving your life at the mercy of external forces. But if you focus on steering your own ship, you reclaim your power. Let's talk about the first area you can control, your attitude. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way. You may face setbacks, disappointments, and even heartbreak. But here's the good news. Your attitude is your choice. You can choose to see a failure as a defeat, or you can see it as a lesson. You can let obstacles frustrate you, or you can view them as opportunities to grow. It's not what happens to you that defines your experience, it's how you respond. Then here's positive, resilient attitude can turn even the darkest moments into stepping stones for success. Next, consider your actions. Every day, you have the power to decide how you will spend your time and energy. Will you procrastinate, or will you take that first step toward your goals? Will you allow distractions to derail your focus, or will you commit to the tasks that truly matter? While you can't control how others will react to your efforts, you can control the effort you put in. You can choose to show up, to do the work, and to stay consistent. And over time, these actions compound, creating results that even you may find astonishing. Finally, let's talk about effort. Effort is the great equalizer. You may not have control over your circumstances, but you always control how much effort you put into improving them. Some days will be harder than others, that's natural. But the key is to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. When you give your best effort, you can rest easy knowing you've done everything within your power. That sense of fulfillment, of knowing you've done your part, is invaluable. Focusing on what you can control doesn't just make you more effective, it makes you more peaceful. Worrying about the uncontrollable creates anxiety and stress, but directing your energy toward what's within your grasp brings clarity and calm. It's like clearing away mental clutter. When you focus on your circle of influence, you feel grounded, empowered, and free to create meaningful change. So, how do you make this shift? Start by identifying what's within your control and what isn't. Write it down if you need to. Then make a conscious decision to release what you can't change. Let go of the need to control every outcome and instead trust the process. Invest your time and energy into the things that truly matter, your growth, your relationships, and your dreams. And remember, focusing on what you can control is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Each morning ask yourself, what can I influence today? What actions can I take to move closer to my goals? By making this a habit, you'll not only reduce unnecessary stress, but also create a life that's more intentional, productive, and fulfilling. Small steps lead to big results. When you think about success, what comes to mind? For many, it's the image of grand achievement, a major promotion, a breakthrough innovation, or a life-changing discovery. These milestones often seem like sudden, monumental leaps forward. And here's the secret. Success is rarely about massive leaps. It's about consistent, small steps taken over time. Those small steps, seemingly insignificant in the moment, are the building blocks of greatness. Consider the power of compounding. If you improve by just 1% every day, you won't notice much of a difference initially. But over time, that tiny daily improvement compounds, creating extraordinary results. This principle applies to every area of life. Whether you're learning a new skill, building a business, or improving your health, small, consistent actions add up to significant progress. Let's take an example from nature. Imagine a river carving through solid rock. It doesn't happen overnight. The water doesn't need to be powerful, it just needs to be persistent. Day by day, the gentle flow wears down the rock, creating a path where there was none. Your efforts work the same way. Even the smallest actions, when repeated consistently, have the power to overcome obstacles and create lasting change. Now, you might wonder, why are small steps so effective? First, they're manageable. When you focus on small actions, you avoid the overwhelm that often comes with pursuing big goals. Instead of looking at the entire mountain you need to climb, you focus on the next step. This keeps you motivated and prevents burnout. Second, small steps build momentum. Each time you complete a small task, you experience a sense of accomplishment. That feeling fuels your motivation to take the next step. It's like pushing a car up a hill. The first few pushes are the hardest, but as you gain momentum, the effort becomes easier, and before you know it, you're moving steadily towards your goal. Third, small steps create habits. Success isn't about doing something amazing once. It's about doing the right things consistently. By focusing on small daily actions, you build habits that become second nature. Over time, these habits shape your identity. You become the kind of person who prioritizes health, learning, or productivity, not because of a one-time effort, but because of the daily choices you make. So how can you start taking small steps today? Begin by identifying one area of your life where you want to see improvement. Maybe it's your health, your career, or your relationships. Then break your goal into the smallest possible actions. If you want to get in shape, start with a 10-minute walk each day. If you want to write a book, commit to writing just one paragraph daily. If you want to save money, set aside a small amount each week. The key is to make the action so simple that it's impossible to fail. As you take these small steps, celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the effort you're putting in, no matter how small it seems. Remember, every step forward counts. And over time, those small steps will lead to big results. Here's the beauty of this approach. It not only helps you achieve your goals, but also transforms how you view success. You realize that success isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's the daily commitment to growth, the willingness to take small steps, and the perseverance to keep going even when progress feels slow. So don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't let the size of your dreams intimidate you. Focus on the next step, no matter how small it seems. Because in the end, small steps, taken consistently, create a path to extraordinary success. I am capable of handling whatever comes my way. Let me ask you something. How often do we look at our challenges and feel overwhelmed? Too often we see obstacles as towering walls, as if they're meant to stop us in our tracks. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if, instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable, we saw them as opportunities to prove just how capable we are? Think back for a moment. Recall a time when life threw something unexpected your way. Maybe it was a sudden setback, an unplanned event, or a difficult decision. Whatever it was, you handled it. You might not have felt like it in the moment, but you navigated through it. And here you are, stronger and wiser because of it. That's the essence of resilience. Not the absence of struggle, but the ability to face it, adapt, and grow. The truth is, confidence isn't about having all the answers up front. It's about trusting yourself to find the answers when you need them. Life will always bring challenges, but remember this: challenges are not stop signs. They're guidelines. They're opportunities for you to learn, to stretch, and to become more than you were yesterday. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a young man starting out in his career. He has dreams, big dreams, but the road isn't easy. He faces rejection after rejection, doors closing one after another. But instead of giving up, he decides to learn from every rejection. He refines his skills, sharpens his approach, and keeps moving forward. Eventually, those closed doors lead him to one that's wide open, a door that changes his life. Why? Because he believed he was capable of handling whatever came his way. And because of that belief, he didn't quit. Now think about the challenges you're facing right now. Are they really roadblocks, or are they stepping stones? Are they the end of the road, or are they the beginning of a new path? Often, it's not the challenge itself that stops us. It's our mindset about the challenge. When you tell yourself, I am capable of handling whatever comes my way, you're giving yourself permission to try, to fail, and to try again until you succeed. And here's the beauty of it. Every time you overcome a challenge, you build confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate. It grows with every small victory. Every moment you prove to yourself that you can handle what life throws at you. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. When challenges arise, and they will, don't let fear or doubt take over. Remind yourself of your resilience. Look back at all the times you've overcome adversity. Let those moments be your proof that you can handle this too, because you can. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. The next time you face a tough situation, repeat this to yourself. I am capable of handling whatever comes my way. Say it out loud if you need to. Write it down, make it your mantra. And then step into the challenge with the confidence of someone who knows they have what it takes. Life isn't about avoiding problems. It's about learning to solve them. And the more you embrace this truth, the more unstoppable you'll become. I will be present and intentional. Now, let's talk about something we often take for granted, the present moment. How many times have you caught yourself rushing through your day, thinking about what's next instead of what's now? It's easy to do, isn't it? We live in a fast-paced world, constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. But here's the thing. The real magic of life happens in the now, not in the next. Being present isn't just about slowing down. It's about truly experiencing life as it unfolds. Imagine you're sitting with a loved one, sharing a meal. You could be thinking about tomorrow's to-do list, scrolling through your phone, or worrying about a deadline. Or you could be fully there, listening to their words, noticing their expression, savoring the food in front of you. Which moment do you think will feel more meaningful? Here's a powerful thought. Life is a collection of moments. The more present you are in each moment, the richer your life becomes. Think about it. How often do we rush through our days, only to look back and wonder where the time went? It's not that time moves too fast, it's that we move too fast, never stopping to appreciate the present. Let me share a lesson about intention. Picture a gardener planting seeds. If he rushes, scattering them carelessly, what kind of harvest will he get? Probably not much. But if he takes his time, planting each seed with care, watering it, nurturing it, well, that's when the garden thrives. Life works the same way. When you approach each moment with intention, you're planting seeds for a fulfilling life. Now, being present and intentional doesn't mean you ignore your responsibilities or stop planning for the future. It means finding a balance. It means giving your full attention to what's in front of you, knowing that by doing so, you're actually setting yourself up for a better tomorrow. Let's break this down into something practical. Start with small steps. When you're working, focus fully on the task at hand, turn off distractions, and give it your best effort. When you're with loved ones, put away your phone and truly engage with them. And when you're alone, take a moment to appreciate the quiet. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of birds in the distance, or the simple joy of a good cup of coffee. These are the moments that make life beautiful, but only if we're present enough to notice them. Another thing to consider is how intention shapes our actions. When you're intentional, you're not just going through the motions. You're making choices that align with your values and goals. You're asking yourself, is this how I want to spend my time? Is this adding value to my life? These questions help you focus on what truly matters. Let me share a story. There was a man who always felt like there wasn't enough time in the day. He was constantly busy, but never truly satisfied. One day he decided to try something different. He started each morning by asking himself, what's one thing I can do today to make it meaningful? That simple question changed everything. He began prioritizing the moments that mattered, spending time with his family, pursuing his passions, and even enjoying the small joys of life. He realized that being present and intentional wasn't just about time management, it was about life management. So, how can you apply this to your own life? Start by making a commitment. Say to yourself, I will be present and intentional. Write it down, repeat it daily, and let it guide your actions. Remember, being present isn't about perfection, it's about practice. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Life is a series of moments, and each one is a gift. Don't let them slip away unnoticed. Be present. Be intentional. And watch how much more meaningful your days become. After all, the present moment is where life happens. It's where you live, love, and grow. I will choose positivity over negativity. Let me start with a question. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thought that crosses your mind? Is it one of excitement for the day ahead, or is it a list of worries, frustrations, and complaints? You see, our mindset at the beginning of the day sets the tone for everything that follows. And here's the truth. Choosing positivity is a habit, one that can transform your entire life. Negativity is everywhere. Turn on the news, scroll through social media, or even listen to casual conversations, and you'll find no shortage of complaints and problems. It's easy to get caught in that trap, isn't it? But here's the thing. Just because negativity is easy to find doesn't mean it's the only option. Positivity is just as available if you decide to look for it. Now, let's be clear. Choosing positivity doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist or walking around with blinders on. No, choosing positivity is about perspective. It's about focusing on solutions rather than problems. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. And most importantly, it's about taking control of your attitude no matter what's happening around you. Let me tell you a story. There were two men working on a construction site. One was constantly complaining about the heat, the noise, the heavy lifting. The other seemed content, even cheerful, despite doing the same hard work. One day someone asked the cheerful man, "Why are you so positive? Don't you get tired or frustrated?" He smiled and replied, "Of course I do. But I remind myself that every brick I lay is building something bigger. Every effort I make is contributing to a greater purpose. That thought keeps me going." What's the lesson here? It's not about the circumstances, it's about the mindset. Both men faced the same conditions, but one chose negativity while the other chose positivity. And that choice made all the difference. Here's the thing about positivity, it's contagious. When you choose to be positive, you influence not only your own mindset, but also the people around you. Imagine walking into a room with a smile, offering encouragement and optimism. What happens? The energy shifts. People respond to your attitude. Suddenly, problems seem smaller and solutions seem more attainable. But positivity isn't something that just happens. It's a choice you make every day. It starts with small, intentional actions. For instance, start your morning with gratitude. Before you even get out of bed, think of 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's the roof over your head, the warm cup of coffee waiting for you, or the people in your life who care about you. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Another practical tip is to reframe negative situations. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow because of this? Even the toughest challenges have something to teach us, but we only see the lesson when we look for it. And then there's the power of words. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself and to others. Are your words uplifting, or are they filled with complaints and criticism? Your words shape your reality. Speak positively, and you'll start to see the world through a more hopeful lens. Now, you might be thinking, that all sounds great, but what about when life gets really hard? Let me tell you, that's when positivity matters most. It's easy to be positive when everything's going well. The real test is maintaining that mindset in the face of adversity. And here's the secret. Positivity isn't just about how you feel, it's about what you do. It's about taking action even when it's hard. It's about finding solutions even when the problem seems overwhelming. It's about believing that better days are ahead even when the present feels uncertain. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Every day, you have a choice. You can focus on the negatives, the problems, the setbacks, the frustrations, or you can focus on the positives, the opportunities, the lessons, the progress you're making. Choose positivity, not because it's always easy, but because it's always worth it. The next time you find yourself facing a challenge, remember this: negativity will drain your energy, but positivity will fuel it. Negativity will keep you stuck, but positivity will move you forward. So choose positivity and watch how it transforms your life. I'm working towards something bigger. Let's talk about vision. Why do you wake up in the morning? What gets you out of bed and keeps you going, even on the tough days? For most of us, the answer lies in something bigger than the day-to-day grind. It lies in the purpose, the vision, the bigger picture we're working toward. And here's the truth: having a clear vision for your life changes everything. Without a vision, life can feel aimless. You wake up, go through the motions, and in the day, wondering if you're really making progress. But when you're working towards something bigger, every day has meaning. Every action you take, no matter how small, becomes a step toward your goal. And that sense of purpose, it's what keeps you motivated. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a builder standing in front of an empty lot. All he has is a blueprint and a pile of bricks. To someone passing by, it might look like chaos, just dirt and rubble. But to the builder, it's a future home, a masterpiece in progress. Every brick he lays, every nail he hammers, brings him closer to that vision. He doesn't get discouraged by the mess because he knows what he's building. Now think about your own life. What are you building? Who are you becoming? Having a vision isn't just about setting goals. It's about creating a roadmap for your life. It's about asking yourself, what do I want to achieve? What kind of person do I want to be? When you answer those questions, you give yourself direction, and that direction keeps you moving forward even when the path gets rough. Here's an important principle: big dreams don't happen overnight. They're built one step at a time, one choice at a time. And sometimes the progress feels slow, but that's okay. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. The key is to stay consistent, to keep showing up every day and putting in the work. Let me share a story. There was a young artist who dreamed of creating a masterpiece, but every time he sat down to paint, he felt overwhelmed by the blank canvas. He doubted his abilities, wondering if he was wasting his time. One day a mentor gave him simple advice: just start. Don't focus on the whole painting. Focus on one stroke at a time. So he did, and over time those small strokes turned into something incredible. A masterpiece he never thought possible. What's the lesson here? Sometimes the big picture can feel overwhelming, but when you break it down into smaller steps, it becomes manageable. Focus on what you can do today. One task, one decision, one step closer to your vision. And here's another thing to remember. Your vision isn't just about you. It's about the impact you can have on others. Think about it. The builder's home becomes a place where families gather. The artist's masterpiece inspires generations. When you work towards something bigger, you're not just creating a better life for yourself, you're creating something that benefits the world around you. So how do you keep moving forward? Start by reminding yourself of your why. Write it down, keep it in front of you. And every day ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to move closer to my vision? It doesn't have to be a big step. Small, consistent actions add up over time. And finally, be patient with yourself. Big dreams take time. There will be setbacks and challenges, but don't let them discourage you. Remember, every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you need to be to achieve your vision. Embrace the process, because that's where the real growth happens. So here's the bottom line. You're not just working for today, you're working towards something bigger. Keep that vision in your heart, take consistent action, and trust the process. Every day, you're building something extraordinary. Stay focused, stay committed, and watch how far you can go. Here's the truth. What you tell yourself matters more than what anyone else says about you. These 8 statements are not just words. They're a blueprint for a stronger, more focused, and more resilient you. When you start your day with intention, you take control of your life. You stop reacting to the world and start creating your world. The mornings set the tone for the rest of your day, and the rest of your day sets the tone for your life. By repeating these 8 powerful statements every morning, you're not just motivating yourself, you're rewiring your mindset for success. Remember, success starts with small, consistent habits, and it begins the moment you wake up.